Well, Mr Speaker, it's a difficult day for Mr Cunliffe when the C team is being rolled out in the general debate. So we had David Parker, and then we had Sue Maroney, and then Moana Maki, List MP for Labour. They're hardly a ringing endorsement from the Labour front bench. And look, I know what they're going through. Having been in Parliament for 24 years, I've seen a lot of this. Leaders in terminal decline. You get your normal blusterers on the front bench who just keep chipping and chirping the whole time and not making any sense. And then the only people who'll front up in the debate to back you are the people who installed you as the leader. No one else will front. No one else will take a call. No one else will defend what's gone on here. Because what we've seen happen in the last 2 days, 2 hours even, is another example of the fact that David Cunliffe lacks situational awareness. Situational awareness. He never understands the fact that you can't say one thing to somebody else 1 minute and then another thing to someone else a few moments later. And we've seen it time and time again. Whether it was talking to the CTU, whether it's talking to the teachers, whether it's talking to people in business, whether it's talking to journalists. There's a lack of situational awareness, a lack of actually knowing that what you say to one group is going to be reflected upon by another. And we've seen that time and time again with David Cunliffe. And we're seeing it time and time again with the Labour Party. Spiralling out of control, a complete lack of leadership, no moral authority, but what's worse, no alternative vision for the future of this country. This is a government that is focused on a plan of action and is focusing on the things that matter. This is a country where most people think the nation is heading in the right direction. This is a country where people think the government is playing its part and New Zealand is heading in the right direction. More jobs, more opportunity, better education, better health, better targeted support. That's what New Zealanders think. This country is headed in the right direction, and the Labour Party hates that, and it's the reason why they hate that is because they're completely focused on their own problems. So here's Mr Cunliffe, only a few hours ago denying he'd ever met Mr Liu, saying the Labour Party never got any donations from Mr Liu, and here we have today a letter of Mr Cunliffe making representations on behalf of Mr Liu. Look, it's just not consistent with what he's been saying previously. It's hugely embarrassing for Mr Cunliffe and for the Labour Party. But it is, will he survive? Look, I think that when you consider the calls that are being made by senior and respected journalists, the lack of a front bench, the lack of participation from the front bench in this debate, in fact, the lack of participation by any bench of the Labour Party opposite, the lack of participation of any bench opposite in this debate speaks volumes. Because I'll tell you what's happening. They're all in their little groups, in their friends' offices, saying, can he survive this? Do you believe what he said on this? What more is to come? What about these donations for the bottles of wine that haven't been declared? And is there anything more? And what is going on with that? Now look, while the opposition are focusing on their internal problems, this is a government that's on the move. It's a government with a plan of action. It's a government with a vision for New Zealand. And I think every day we see the benefits of the leadership of our Prime Minister John Key, who's out there talking to world leaders about the opportunities for New Zealand in a vast growing world, the global opportunities for trade, investment and wealth. That's what our Prime Minister is talking about. And here at home, led by our Finance Minister, we've got a government focused on the things that matter, creating the environment we need for people to invest, take a risk and invest in their businesses and grow jobs in this country. Indeed, the contrast between the centre-right and the hard left could never be clearer than it is today.
Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Speaker, tempted as I am to do otherwise, I will give Mr Cunliffe the charity of my silence
as he seeks to work his way out of a nigh impossible predicament. And I want to talk about another couple of issues that are in a similar vein